The Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans, by fans. With your host, Jessy, Martin.
What are you talking about? You're out of your mind.
John Taylor.
We finally got professional football back. This is going to be fun.
Scott Hartley.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Max Taylor.
As long as you got Jaden Daniels, you got a chance to win.
Spanning the eras of Washington football. Honoring the past. Commanding the future. And now, the world's worst podcast host, John Taylor.
Hey, everybody. I am the world's worst podcast host. However, I have been informed that there is a guy in Poland hosting a podcast called Plotnia, in which he says he is the, which I assume means he's the world's worst podcast host. I've listened once. He's pretty bad, so I'm really going to fuck things up now to make sure that I retain my title. And speaking of fucking things up, my good friend from over here from Southeast Virginia, let me go ahead over here and get our music straight. It's Jessy Martin. Hey, what's going on to you today, Jessy? I see that you dressed up for the occasion. You got the good old white tee on. Nice.
Yeah. No, it's just a white tee type of day, man. White tee Tuesday.
Now, Scott, I got to ask Scott, because, you know, he is the International Fan of the Year. As a proper Englishman from the Royal Port of Barrow, would you drink white tea?
Well, yeah, I have white tea, yeah, but it's very strong. It's like builder's tea.
Damn, Jessy, I think you guys are going to be having to get a room when he comes over here in the airplane a couple weeks
What the fuck is builder's tea?
I don't know, but I think he just gave you a
Tony knows.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. By the way, down here, our good friend from Ireland, Tony Wheat. Tony, it says right here that you used to be in the circus, and you and 35 of your friends would drive in a car and then just get out and everybody'd laugh. Anything that you'd like to tell us about that?
I think it's all been said. It's still in the hands of my lawyers. So, yeah, no comments on that. But I can comment on builder's tea, just to back Scott up. I think it's basically sludge or mud. That's the color of it. I mean, if you're talking about white tea, you know, that's tea with milk, yeah. But that's disgusting. It's got to have some.
Wait a second. Hold on.
So yeah,
that's milk.
That's great.
Milk. Why do you just drink hot milk?
No, you just have a very, very small drop of milk in.
Yeah, that's what we do here in America.
Yeah, a very small drop.
Yeah, but just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of color.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be orange.
Have you ever seen the color chart for how your tea should be? And the ideal color is the color of He-Man.
Yes,
He-Man.
Indeed.
Do you remember He-Man?
He-Man color.
Yeah.
Oh, He-Man.
He-Man.
Google He-Man, look at the colour of his skin, and that's what
as long as it's not skeletal colour, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
My colour's the colour of Lion-O. Is this any good? Can't tell.
If it's skeletal, you have a problem. But Google He-Man, look at his skin. That's what tea should look like.
I gotta
Absolutely.
tell you can't help but look at He-Man's skin. It's
Yeah,
all over the
and
place.
you
And if
just-
people want to talk
you
about why
or-
a generation grew up
or
to be a bunch of
cream.
drag queens, I think it's because of He-Man.
You do a little
Sorry, but go
cream
ahead.
in there, and that will give you the color of He-Man. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is a football podcast in which you learn how to make your tea to be the color of He-Man. I have the tea bag! All
You'll be
Absolutely.
teabagging in a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm not going to go there in any way.
That's on the after dark podcast. That one, Tony.
In fact, I think we should have a list from Scott about the number of times that he thinks Tony's been teabagged. That will be for another day. Anyway, Jessy, look what kind of crap your T-shirt cost on the fucking podcast.
Jesus.
I suppose that's general bullshit over with.
Yeah, this is the general bullshit section of the show, and as you can see, it's pretty generalized. All right, so we did have a football game last night. We might as well get right to it. I really don't see this show lasting too long. There has been a whole lot since the last one we had, and it's just a preseason game, so let's get on with it. Let me see. Is there anything in here we can do here? We can talk about.
B-Rob.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm just looking at all my videos and see if any of them fit what we're going to do here. Nah, not really. I got to remember all our shit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is the preseason here in podcast land as well. All right, so, one thing I want to do real quick is the quick around the room, 1 to 2 sentences. Tell me what you thought of the game. Jesse.
First quarter, was fine. First and second quarter, I'm okay with it. It was energy. That's probably the best. If I had to take one word, energy. You saw a lot of it. It was great.
All right, Scotty.
Okay, but depth worries me.
All right, so Scotty's afraid to swim. Tony.
Yeah, better than the first week. Let's see what Scotty means about depth, but some of those guys in the third and fourth quarter aren't going to be playing anywhere near. They're not going to be anywhere near the 53, so I'm not too worried about that. 2 or 3 guys that you wanted to see something from, we saw something from. We can probably go into that in a bit more detail. So yeah, progress.
All right, the bongos ran out, so I'm going to start them again for me because I saw massive, gigantic fucking holes that we opened up with a second-team offensive line into a first-team defense, even though they have a lousy one. I was really early on. I think Jesse, I'll mirror yours. Energy was good. I liked it. Practically everybody, even the ones that didn't really play well, I thought showed me something, and that should do it for the drums. All right, so let's dive in a little bit with this here. Look, I just mentioned the offensive line, obviously. Yes. All right, and we're talking first team here, the first drive, really.
That really wasn't first team, it
wasn't.
If we had 3 starters out. So when you talk about depth, you have to include the offensive line, and I think the depth is great. I mean, this is something that we've been yearning for a very fucking long time in Washington.
I've experienced pain and yearning.
That's true. And it looks like we got it. I mean, Andrew Wiley looked like he was a freaking all-pro out there. Let's be real here. I know that's Scouse's boo right there, but I think we're going to have a really good running attack this year because of the offensive line, not necessarily because of the running backs.
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what. I think I'm just going to go counterclockwise real quick, and I'm just going to touch on them real quick. They did open up massive holes.
Scouse could have made that touchdown. Let's be real clear here. That's how big the fucking hole was.
You're right. You could have bowled his head right through that thing that Rodriguez went through. But I wasn't going to get down that road there. I'm glad that you went there first. That's good. He'll take shots at you later on, which is, honestly, they're getting harder to dodge. Motherfucker's been putting his hat in the cannon, and it's like, Jesus. All right. Anyway, they were cohesive. Okay, they got to the second level fast. They opened massive fucking gaps. I would say I forgot what we were talking about. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing that you could pick up on, perhaps the gaps were massive. It was something I think Kine picked up on his pod today. I think it was Kine, where he said that particularly on Bill's touchdown run, that there was a big gap there, but the thing from his point of view was that he showed patience to let because obviously the guard and the tackle pulled and Bates sealed off the tight end. He had to let that happen in front of him, to show a bit of patience to let that develop and then make the run rather than run up the arse of his own offensive lineman, which
we're not throwing any shade here.
I've seen that a few times. So there were big gaps. So it's positive on all fronts. Positive on the fact that the gaps were there, and positive on the fact that on that one, Bill took the time to let it develop and then hit the gap.
All right, Scott, I know you are an offensive line geek, so tell me. I bet you last night were touching yourself, telling Karen, no, I'm not. No.
Oh, Foster Sorrell.
I thought Scott was actually saying that.
Scott's got the Afghan a little
Foster
Sorrell. A little too high.
No. In all seriousness, I was very impressed with Chris Paul. I thought he had a really good game. Wiley, as you said, played really, really well. Bates with that double block, wow! I mean, to open that hole for Krosky Merritt to run through was unbelievable, and it was, he's got to block 2 people there, which is just wild to think that he is out there. I mean, he's getting a lot of love at the moment in the national media for that, which is a good thing to see. We already knew he was the best blocking tight end in the league. As you said, first half or even first quarter, very impressed with how the offense sat and where we were going to go moving forward. I'm I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I just think, did we catch lightning in a bottle last year? And are we actually as good as we think we are? Or are we believing the hype a little bit? Because ideally, we're only probably year two into what should be a rebuild.
Well, I mean, explain yourself.
I'm just explaining it by saying, well, you got the quarterback now, which means automatically that you should be. Everyone's thinking.
Oh, what's the matter?
The floor is that we're going to go to the championship again. It's very, very hard to do that. If you can get playoffs again, then great. But I'm not so sure, man. I'm just looking at this depth and looking at people who should have shown out and didn't show out and thinking to myself, where do we go from here?
All right, we're a very popular pick on the national media for that.
Well, I told you. Go ahead.
Can we talk about this depth situation? Because
in a second, I would point out that I told you that the NFL wants us to be a darling, and they will make us a darling the second we show it. And then you're right. I mean, sorry, Jesse, go ahead, because I do have a point about what Scott said about
it's just like everybody's saying that, that we're worried about the depth. We're worried about the depth. I'm not. I like what we saw from the first quarter. Okay, that was first and second team. What we still had a hell of a lot of people, first and second teamers, sit out this past game.
13.
What we're seeing in the second half of these games, these people aren't going to be on this team.
Most of them, yeah.
You look at our defensive line, which I think played just as well as our offensive line. At least the ones that started.
Yeah, first half guys did.
And we're without Bobby Wagner, without Von Miller. We're still creating pressure. Look at our cornerbacks. They were like, we're worried about depth without after Noah I. Noah I's the fifth fucking cornerback on the team. Nobody's going to have good cornerback sixes on their team if they even have six cornerbacks. So I think we need to chill out on the fact that we're worried about depth, because we got depth in the right places except for one, and that might be wide receiver, which once Terry and Noah comes back, that's going to be fine.
We'll get to that.
I don't think our depth is nearly as a concern as people are making it out to be.
Well, we'll get to the wide receiver in a second.
And maybe it's just players that you expected to flash haven't flashed through training camp.
Like who?
As in,
name names.
Like who? Ben Sinnott. Luke McCaffrey.
I
would not be surprised. I genuinely would not be surprised if Luke McCaffrey didn't make this team. I think it's an absolute waste of time. I think he's a wasted spell. He's a wasted.
He was
pick.
open a lot last night, but he's not getting the ball.
He's not getting the ball from a quarterback.
We got to consider who's throwing them the balls when they're on the field.
No,
they completed 5 passes last night, or Sam Hartman completed like 5 passes last night.
Yeah,
he's
Sam Hartman. By the way, Sam Hartman's new nickname is Not Very Smartman. Look, dude. Anyway, we'll get to him in a few minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like with Sinnott, people got to understand it takes 3 years. Okay,
no, I get it.
From all reports, Sinnott has played well in camp.
He played well yesterday.
He's playing well as a tight end too.
I thought
he's not getting the opportunities like Ertz is getting in camp. Okay, because Ertz is a focal point in this offense. Sinnott is good on special teams. He's good at his blocks when he has the opportunity to go out there. So I think we just need to chill. McCaffrey, that is a different story, but
that's a question.
Like, if you look at last year's draft class, and I heard some idiots talking about this like today, they got Jaden Daniels out of it, Mikey Sanders still out of it, Johnny Newton out of it, fucking Coleman out of it. That's 4 starters right there. Nobody, no team does that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen right away. It just does not. That's a very good draft class right there.
Look,
regardless of anybody else.
Should they have been starters because of the previous regime's inability to draft somebody? And then what you do is just sticking a Band-Aid.
Well, I mean, Johnny Newton is a rotational player, but so is everybody else on the defensive line.
No,
when you say a starter, it's kind of tough to put a defensive lineman and say he's a starter. That just means you played the first play, really. But to me, I had this discussion the other day about Jordan McGee. He ain't playing again.
McGee,
McGee, and he's a bust. No, he's not. He's a 5th-round pick. If you're labeling a 5th-round pick a bust, dude, you way overvalue everything. Everything's traumatic for you. Oh, my God, he's a bust.
Unless you're a first-round pick, you're not labeled a bust.
As a 5th-round pick is I want this person to contribute to my team. If he becomes a starter, that's unbelievable as a bonus. 5th-round pick. Okay, so no, Jordan McGee is not a bust. I wouldn't know if he is or not. The motherfucker's never around.
And the team absolutely loves Jordan McGee. They rave about him.
I guess they must. He must be good in the team orgy or something because I can't see anything else. He didn't on the field.
These are the facts. You can't hit on every draft pick. No team does.
No, you can't.
Like you just can't.
I would like to see Jordan McGee hit on something.
Hitting on 3 draft picks is considered a damn good draft.
That's half your draft. You got 7 picks. I mean, if you're normal.
And that's about
draft is
hit rate 50-50.
And like Scott's not the only person that feels this way, and I understand. Okay,
no, but I'm not slagging him out. I just want to see a bit more. That's what I'm saying. I want to see the natural progression of step up from McCaffrey, from Sinnott, from McGee. That's what I'm saying, John. We're talking about wide receiver depth is a concern
at all.
Yeah, and they've already cut one pick in Hampton.
The ball. And if I'm thinking about maybe do I want him on the team, I'm going to go tell Josh Johnson, I don't give a fuck. Throw him the ball. Throw him the ball. Just throw him the ball 10 times.
He did get a pass to him, Sinnott, but it was way overthrown.
Sinnott, I'm not too worried.
I mean, you can't really. It's hard.
I'd be more concerned about. Personally, I'd be more concerned about McCaffrey because he had a reasonable amount of opportunity last year on the field.
Yeah,
Sinnott to me
never thrown to the ball.
No, Sinnott to me is more lack of opportunity. You know, they got far more out of Ertz last year than I think they thought.
I think everybody thought.
In their wildest
what was he ever
dreams they were going to get.
Was he a second
round pick? You know, he was a second round pick. So I think the expectation would have been more likely that he would have seen more of the field last year than he did. Bates is obviously a blocking tight end, and I think they probably thought if we can get half the snaps out of Ertz, and they probably ended up getting 90% of the snaps out of Ertz. I don't have the stats. So Sinnott was a lack of opportunity.
Yeah, I fully 100. I feel this in my bones. Sinnott is the tight end of the future for this team.
All right,
and I feel the coaching staff feel that as well too. But why are you going to put Sinnott, cut into Ertz when Jaden? I mean, that's one of Jaden's that's his backbone.
His ultimate security blanket.
It's a security blanket that he relies on so much. So you're not going to get in the way of that just because you want to get a young guy more opportunity. Don't fix what's not broken.
Right,
but at the same time,
able to work the middle of football field for the last 15 years. Let him keep doing it. Yeah, and he was doing it again at the minute. I don't care if he's no yak Ertz. Who gives a fuck? Throw him the ball. He'll get to the sticks. That's what you need.
It's not broken yet, but how fit can he be?
You've been dealing with scouts way too long. You've taken you're pessimistic. Yeah, you started it off today. Oh, what was this team?
Because I watched it last night and I wasn't impressed with anything. I thought it was shit. I thought the whole game was woeful apart from the first drive. That was it.
The first drive it's all that counted because
I know it did because that was our first starters. But what I wanted to see is in preseason to see people step up. I want to see people try and fight for this team.
All right,
and I didn't see anything.
That's what the defense did.
Did, but on offense, I didn't see anything at all. Some of the corners, when you're getting into the Carlin Vigors of the world, that's fine. No, they're not going to be here. We know that.
Ali Cahoe, however you say his name, linebacker, Ali Cahoe. That dude stepped up last night.
He was
flying around pretty well. So there were some guys.
Yeah,
before we get into that, because we're going to get off of the. This is preseason. I'm trying to stick to the game plan here. All right, so we were on tight ends. Now we're going to go to the running backs. We'll get back to that in a minute there, Scotty. Way to friggin' jump ahead on the thing and not read the outline. Lord. I'm not the world's worst podcast host, ladies and gentlemen. I have the world's worst podcast partners. They just sit around all night eating popcorn, thinking to themselves, boy, I hope Joan comes up with something funny. Now maybe he'll find out about my family that used to be in the RAF flying around in biplanes or whatever. There. So anyway, I don't have any pictures of you today. I thought I had fun enough with you.
That's funny. The international wrong.
What? No, I thought honestly, Scott G. I don't know. The first drive, Jaden, fine, fair enough. I was like, this is great.
I think
Screaming at him, go down, please go down.
First quarter was really good.
I'll tell you what.
D-line, when the starters were in, great, no problem with that. Thereafter, I was like, come on, give me a bit more. I want to see a bit more oomph. Nothing.
When Jaden ran, the mixture of emotions that go through you as he's going, oh my God, the terror of, oh my God, and then when he goes towards the end zone, and then he scores, and you're of course elated that he scored and he's alive and everything's great, But Jesus Christ! Now, Jesse, you said the safety overran the play. I say
he didn't pull up. I watched
a bunch of guys got film last night, and they went like this. Oh boy! A bunch of guys.
He overshot it because Jaden went in, and
he overran the angle. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't think he pulled up at all.
Kime made a good point today too, in that a lot of guys in that situation get just as hurt by going down because they take that shot to the head.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, how much would you fine a guy for that?
Well, how much would I fine a guy for taking someone's head off?
Hell yeah, you're the one that's the expert in fines.
I wouldn't fine him anything. I think a bit of old school football is okay.
Even if it's our quarterback? No.
Oh, if it's our quarterback, the entire salary, yeah.
$500,000. That's right.
Yeah, at least.
Okay.
The other way to look at the not hitting Jaden, I think it was on Standing's podcast, I think tonight, was that they said that they're so used to seeing in training camp now quarterbacks in the different colour jersey. You can't touch the quarterback. That subconsciously for a split second, I think it was Battle, wasn't it? The safety just went.
I just didn't see. I watched
it was too late.
It down. I saw it in slow mo, and it just looks like his angle he like overshot it, and kind of went like that. And because Jaden had a slight.
He gave him a little step on the goal line.
Yeah. So I just don't think he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to hit you." It didn't seem like that to me at all.
No, I would hope not, because if he did do that, and I'm their coach, I cut. That
exactly. And that was I think one of their starters. I believe
him out. A legal chance to take him out. Now, I'm not a guy that says, "Okay, let's go out and hurt people," but a quarterback is a quarterback, and if that son of a bitch is standing up coming towards,
they're free game when they're coming in there like that.
It's a rough game, right? And I'm glad that he survived that. I'm glad that I saw him run down the tunnel and come back out in his T-shirt, get him undone for that. All right, so Jaden didn't throw a pass. Any concern?
No.
All right, he went back to pass, and that's where the run came from. But no passes whatsoever. Debo Samuel on the first play. Did you have any? Did you say to yourself, "Oh boy, you're Steve Spurrier pulling out the stops"?
That was beautiful. No, it's a jet sweep. I mean, that's
I know you're right.
It's a normal play.
That was a jet sweep.
That was fucking.
Who
beautiful.
said he was fat in the off season? Get a grip of yourself.
People were making fun of him during the game. They were calling him fat. He had a fucking rib protector on, and they were calling him fucking fat. Fucking.
It's just a lazy social media shite. Yeah. So
I don't give a fuck if he's fat.
He looks the fittest he's ever been. What?
If he's fat and can run a 19-yard gain like that on the first play of preseason, that he gets the ball. Fuck yeah. Go ahead, fat boy. Get on around here.
If he had a robber's dog, John, he'd be fitter, wouldn't he?
See, now that's a joke that I laughed at, but I didn't understand it at all. What the fuck is a robber's dog?
Robber's dog.
Tony, you get
it. Tony's like, now Tony's going to find me.
I'm not going to explain it, but I get it.
So tell me what you were talking about. What's a robber's dog?
So obviously, when a bank robber's robbing a bank, they'll have they used to have a dog with them as a watch out, a lookout.
And a lookout.
And it was gone down the road. So that's what I'm saying. It's speedy, fit.
The dog would be the lookout. Hurry it up. We ain't got but 30 seconds. Woof, woof.
Faster than a robber's dog.
Exactly, yeah.
Fuck off. I remember when Inspector Clouseau, that guy had the monkey that was the lookout. That was fun. But you got to be old to remember that. We would get into that one other day. So in tying on top of the offensive line's great performance, the tight ends' great performance, the running backs had a wonderful night, I thought. I mean, we're still talking about the opening part of the game. Look, Rodriguez. Now, go ahead. I'm going to say this. Jesse, you've been wanting to say something to me about John Bates. Please. Yes, you have. About John Bates. You know that because I was not all.
Yeah, you're fucking wrong about John Bates.
I was.
And he's the greatest blocking tight end to ever walk the face of the fucking earth. And you said he was a bum.
Bum. All right, well, then I will see your John Bates, in which I was wrong, and I will raise you Christian Rodriguez, who I said last year, I love the way this fucking guy runs. And I think I said it the year before that, because he would get into games late, and he runs hard, he runs angry, he runs like a bowling ball, and he hits the thing fast. And you saw that last night, that 40-yard run that he had, man, he was through that hole. Now, granted, it was a hole, like we said, big enough to bowl Scouse's head through.
I need to see more.
I want to see more too, but I've seen a good chunk of him.
I think both from him and Bill. I mean, listen, I don't want to take any away from what either one of those did yesterday, but we got to look at who they were playing to. The Bengals sucked. Like, their defense is bad. Like I said before, Scouse could have fucking ran through them holes and scored a touchdown as well. And
I would say so.
I'm curious because they both played late into the third quarter last night, didn't they?
Sure. I think Nichols did too.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see them in the third. I was surprised, especially with the Brian Robinson news. I was kind of surprised at. I thought Felton and McNichols would pretty much take the rest of the game because of the fact that of the Brian Robinson news, which I still say, and I will say, I think they're going to regret this before the season's over with.
All right, well, that brings it up. There's one of the elephants in the room. And Tony, I'm going to start with you here because you've been such a polite man. And most of the Irish people that we have on here, if we don't talk to them for very long, they get drunk and start a fight. And thank you for being a decent guy. All right, so Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
What's his name? Schultz said that they were shopping him around the other day. Keim says today that if it gets out into the media, that means it's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
Now, I also read from, what's her name? Seawall, Miss Wall, and I can't remember the other fellow's name. Sorry, right? Oh, Felix Trammell. Sorry, Felix. That there was an incident in New England last
James,
week.
I got your question started. We'll get to him, buddy.
There was an incident in New England last week, apparently, in the tunnel with Brian Robinson. Has anybody heard anything about any of this?
No.
I heard that something had happened in New England, but not any detail as to whether it was something as simple as a bit of a crossed word but I did hear something that happened.
Blake? Oh, okay.
Well, no one was able to elaborate on what it was other than it was partially linked to the story. So it could just be.
All right. So like I said, I'm going to start with you. Where are you standing on all of this? Are you okay if we go into the season? First off, do you think we can get a trade? What do you think we can get? And are you comfortable going into the season without Brian Robinson?
Will they be able to trade him? Possibly, yes. They won't get anything for him. It'll be a conditional seventh, sixth if we're very fortunate. Can we go into when this was first mentioned, because it was Ben Standing mentioned it a few weeks back. And he
actually mentioned it before.
He did.
He started in passing.
Yeah, he was doing a lap of honor on his podcast today because he'd mentioned it all the way back in April apparently, and etc. etc. Now it's his final year in the contract and that kind of stuff. And when it was first mentioned, I think we said on Twitter, I said I'd be amazed if they let him go. Okay. But thinking about it now and trying to look at it from a more positive slant, they've obviously decided that he's not a great fit necessarily for the offense for what they want to do, and that maybe the other backs do fit better. That as much as we big him up and we love him, he's never set the league on fire. He's always been a steady plodder. If you need 3, he'll get you 3. If you need 5, he'll get you 4. They went through some of his stats today about the number of 20-yard runs he'd had, and he was like way, way down all the metrics in the league. Now, I know his yards per carry was reasonable, but let's not mistake him for even a top 20 running back in the NFL. I don't think that's being unduly harsh. So on that basis, if they go into the season with the 4 backs that we've talked about, plus Debo as an occasional runner, plus Jaden as either a scramble or a design QB runs, it's the ultimate running back by committee approach. because it's running back plus receiver plus quarterback by committee. They're obviously happy with that. I'm still going to take a little bit of convincing on that because I do like B-Rob, but when you actually look at it in the cold light of day, it's not like they've clearly decided that they can be just as good with it without him as they can with. Now, the salary thing is not a great deal of a consideration. It's $3 million or something this year. They get virtually all of that credited, so that they don't lose anything in dead cap. That's not really much of a consideration, I don't think, but it's still $3 million, or the best part of.
I don't like to part with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can take $3 million off me, and I wouldn't notice. But ultimately, some lads I appreciate. I wish. Anyway, look, I'm still not totally sure of it, but I think I have enough understanding of what these guys are trying to do, and I understand the path they're trying to take to go. Okay, so yeah. I'm probably 2/3 in on it at the moment.
All right, so Scotty, where are you standing with this?
No, I don't think it's the right decision. I think you need Brian Robinson. Okay. You're lucky to get a 7th at best. I understand the reasons behind what Tony's saying, and I agree completely. He's never set the world alight. What's he got? 700 yards in. It's
not like around 800 yards all 3 of his seasons.
But he's had injury issues, offensive line.
He has.
As well.
It's not the best stats. I had asked myself, and I looked at this, and I thought to myself, would he be a starter anywhere else in the league? I don't think he would.
So Jesse, you had a comment right off the top.
I really don't think he would start. Where else would you think he would start? Because I was trying to think in my head, where would he trade to? And the only place I could think of was the Bears, possibly.
Chicago.
They got DeAndre Swift.
They like Swift.
They do. The only thing that I could think of is Houston, if Mixon and Chubb, who Chubb sounds like he can't even catch up with the fucking ice cream.
Houston, I would say Houston, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Chubb sounds like he's done.
But he's replaceable. As Scott G just said, he is replaceable by the guys we've got. And if they've made a decision that it's running back by committee, which I don't think there will be an RB1, I think it's too early to crown someone like Krosky, Merritt, Bill.
Were you surprised last night to see Rodriguez come out on the first play?
No, not really. I think Rodriguez is shown as what he's about. He has obviously in the past had fumbling issues, but
could you see Rodriguez through all the shit that you were throwing at the television? You were so upset about how they were playing.
The tears that were coming down his cheek.
That's right. He couldn't see through the tears. All right, so Jesse, you like I said, you had a comment right when I brought this up, and you said they were going to regret it.
Yeah, I think they're going to regret it. I mean, if you look at it, everybody's like, "Yeah, this running back room's so deep," and if you look at it before Brian Robinson, your running back 1, you have an aging RB2, kind of change of pace back in Eckler with concussion issues. Then you have a guy that's been cut by multiple regimes multiple times in Chris Rodriguez.
9.
Then you have a 7th-round rookie that's already been banged up. That's all week wore a non-contact jersey. And the last running back to contribute to a team outside of special teams in the past 10 years is the Chiefs running back. That
7th rounder.
He was a 6th rounder.
Bucky Irving a 7th rounder.
No,
Pacheco was like
it was like fourth.
Yeah, Pacheco was a 7th round pick.
Maybe I was just adding
there have been one, so they're banking a lot on a guy that's been cut that they've cut twice, I think, and a rookie.
We'll make Nichols in the mix.
Yeah, but a journeyman and a journeyman,
But they like it. I don't mean he blocked well. He blocked well. He's played well.
If Rodriguez and Merritt has to be a liability in pass coverage. I don't trust them one bit to protect Jaden Daniels. Now, McNichols, that's a different story. We've seen it, been there, done that. Mm-hmm. But I don't trust Chris Rodriguez. I haven't seen nearly enough. I'm not as enamored with his running style as everybody else.
Enamored? I mean, don't go overplaying it now. I think he runs hard. He runs well.
People's been saying it for the past 2 days. Oh, everybody's like, oh, yeah, we love Chris Rodriguez. Sorry, he hasn't done shit for us.
One of us has been saying it for a while longer than that. And no, he hasn't done shit for us. He's been coming in the fourth quarter of games mostly. And I've said, I wonder whether or not it's because he comes into a defense that's been running all day and he hits them hard. And in fact, I said that was what he brought to us that was so valuable last year, was that he could come in late in games and he could seal the deal with those 5 and 6 yard carries that smash into linebackers that are done dealing with him. But if this offensive line, if our starters can open up holes like that, I don't give a fuck if you put Pepe Rodriguez in there. That motherfucker's heading for the house.
No, listen, I don't think Brian Robinson is a barn burner or anything like that. No, but you know what you're going to get with Robinson. And I don't feel that he's a perfect fit for the offense. I get that, and I understand that argument. And I think if they wanted to change, if they wanted to upgrade over B-Rob, you would have figured they would have, because they had an opportunity to draft one a little bit higher, a little bit better of a prospect than.
Listen, you could even trade for one.
They apparently really liked him, but they waited until the very end to go ahead and pick him. All right, so. Real quick, we'll just run around the room with the speedy bongos. What do you think we can get for Brian Robinson, Jesse?
7th.
Gotti.
7th at best.
All right, Tony, you said conditional 7th. I said we ain't getting shit. They're just going to sit back and wait, and we're going to cut him, and that's going to be the end of that.
Just the last thing on this, if we're talking about late round running backs that succeeded, okay, it's just slightly more than 10 years, but there's one staring us in the face, guys, and it's very similar. Alfred Morris was a 6th round pick, of course, not a 7th round pick. And what did Alfred Morris have? He had a mobile quarterback and a couple of tidy receivers outside him and a decent offensive line, and he ran for 1,650 yards as a rookie.
Yeah, it was mental.
Yeah, but he wasn't a 7th. God, round. It's a whole fucking. I'm just kidding.
But to be fair, do you think we'd have had any chance at all at getting Krosky Merritt if he'd had that year of eligibility?
We don't know because
we don't know. He might have got hurt. Who knows?
Yeah. Who the hell knows? I see people saying that argument, and if you really look at it, we just don't know. We don't know.
Nobody can tell that.
We don't know.
The fact of the matter is that if it turns out that he is a good running back in this committee, then they've done one hell of a job of due diligence in pulling him in that particular spot in the 7th round. Kime was talking about how they loved him all during the draft, and they were like, okay, we're going to gamble and wait until the end, and they got him. Now, I'll say this. Last night, he had one hell of a good run through a hole that two of Scouse's hats could have run through. All right. And then after that, it was kind of and they left him in the game well into the 3rd quarter.
That surprised me. That
I was
really
surprised too. I kept saying, why are they putting him back out there? But I guess because he is a 7th round rookie, you can't just bubble wrap him and say, okay, we've seen enough.
I want him seeing. I'd like to see more in the passing game too. See how he fares in that as well,
like you said.
And the protection, I think, what really is bugging me the most about it, because Jaden is our most important asset for the next 10, 15 years. We need to protect him at all costs, and you need a running back that can pass block.
Yeah,
the only thing
is very good at that.
He is, yeah. And as Scotty said, the only thing I'm wondering is there another shoe to fall yet? Is there, assuming, I think it's fairly safe to say that B-Rob's gone one way or the other.
Yeah.
Is there another shoe to fall? Whether I can't see him trading for anybody because they've pretty much really stated now that they're happy with what they've got, and we don't really have the draft capital to be trading draft picks away next year anyway.
They'll be looking at cuts next week.
And cuts. But is the running back depth that good around the league that someone decent enough is going to pop free?
I think Brian Robinson might be able to chop
for Breece Hall.
Breece Hall's a possibility. You're right. I
don't think he's going to get cut.
He might be getting his job taken a little bit, but
I
don't know that we could be able to make that kind of a trade.
Yeah, Breece Hall was he was
he has.
I mean, in fantasy last year, he was a top 10 pick. I mean, he was not the real game, but he obviously disappointed last year. Braylon Allen's going to take some of his work this year, but
Before we move on, I do got a couple questions from our friend James. I said I'd get to. Would you have preferred Daniels to have tried some longer range passes for practice sake in the game?
Yeah, well, if you can. I mean, they hand the ball to Rodriguez and 40 yards down the field, they push him out of bounds. What's to do?
Don't try to fix what isn't broken. You know,
I mean,
run it if you have to. I mean, sure, but like
it would have worked out if he. I mean,
I think the whole thing of getting him on the field is just getting some live fire, and he got some. I think he's going to be fine. I think the offense is going to be fine. Yeah. I think people are freaking out a little bit too much on this. Scott and Scouse. Scouse is really.
I'm not freaked out about it.
I would like to know. In all honesty, we have two guys here from the UK. One's in Ireland. One is down on the western shore of England. I want to know if when you guys look at the weather map, does the air pressure change when Scouse gets his moods going? When Scouse gets negative, does it like move the water in his head around or something? Does like the moon shift things around in his head and make him go, "This guy's shite," you know?
Probably.
All
the
right,
clouds darken outside the house, and I'm wondering what's going on.
The second one, it was kind of the same with the first one. Do we miss an opportunity? Look, like I said, I think it was just getting some feels out there and just get some live fire. I don't think there was any missed opportunities for deep shots.
Honestly, when are you going to take it? You know,
Jade's got a he's very accurate throwing deep. We all saw that last year. We've seen it in practice. I think he's really built a good rapport with Debo, especially with Terry. Terry
handed off to him beautifully.
Yeah. And maybe they just don't want to show the sets that are going to come out when they go deep too. So kind of think about that as well.
Well,
I mean, they had the practice.
Go ahead.
I was saying, I mean, they had it's not the same as live game action, obviously, but, they had the joint practice with New England. They had the team scrimmage last week internally. Mm-hmm. It's not exactly the same thing, but I don't have any concern about him,
No, throwing the ball
live action.
For me, I get what you're saying, James, in that, you want to see some situations rise up into preseason games so that they can get some live fire action doing that kind of stuff. But when the offensive line opens up a hole that just takes the whole half of the field and Rodriguez can just stroll 40 yards down the field, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He tried to throw it the next play, and then he kind of got out of the, and then took off running.
What I would say is, and I know we're not going to discuss the Terry situation in depth tonight, but is that he needs to get back in there fairly soon. I know he's off the pup list now. Is he going to practice? He needs to practice because Jaden and him need to start hooking up a little bit.
Good segue. There's Tony.
Well, I will say this finally. In terms of, I would love to see every drive the Commanders have this year result in a touchdown after like 4 plays and three runs of 70 yards. That would be wonderful. I don't care if we pass at all.
That would be nice.
Yeah. All right. So there's a segue. What were we segueing to?
Wide receiver depth and Terry.
Oh, okay. So that brings us to another elephant. All right, so how are we feeling about this? Scott, we'll start with you. Oh, of course, doom and gloom.
No, I'm not doom and gloom.
Okay, because I'm going to have to change that. I'm going to have to change the little cartoon to you now.
There you go.
Maybe I'm just preseason hopeless, and then when it gets to the season, I get quite excited, and it's all good again. I don't know.
So, all right,
I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed with the depth of the wide receivers. I think.
You're right. No one has taken the bull by its horn when they've had the opportunity. You're absolutely right, Scott.
But am I disappointed in Terry? Yes, I am. It's becoming a distraction more than anything. Even people who were big Terry backers have now kind of relented a little bit and saying, "Come on, mate, it's time to get on with your job," because how many media gurus and people have you heard now saying that no team is willing to pay him the money that he wants to be paid? Well, no shit, Sherlock. It was never going to happen. You know what I mean? That you were going to value yourself at 33 million or whatever he's valued himself at, which is
north of
Terry,
that.
I'd fire your agent immediately. It's time to get this deal done. It's beyond time now.
Yeah.
There's multiple reports by multiple big name reporters saying they've asked the decision makers around the NFL, and no one's willing to pay him $30 million.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that was the floor that we set in our trial. All right, so where do we lay the blame for this? Tony, where do you lay the blame for this?
Well, it's unrealistic. Whether it's him being unrealistic or his agent being unrealistic to say he was going to get at least a DK Metcalf $33 million contract. So the agent's doing the bidding. I don't think Terry doesn't seem the kind of guy who's going to come in and say, "Give me $35 million." So someone's setting his market somewhere. You've got to think that's the agent. But at this point now, he's got to just, he's off the pup list. So if he doesn't, they're ramping him up for a couple of days, so they might not get him on the practice field. But when they say to him now it's time to practice, if he doesn't practice, he's in trouble because he's then holding out. He's not holding in anymore. He's holding out, and then they can shut him. I believe that they can shut him down for the season after 5 days or something like that. No, they clearly don't want to. They clearly don't want to do that. No. I tell you what's going to happen. He's going to realize that he's played all his cards. He doesn't really have another card to play, and agree to a deal that will probably AAV out around 27, 28.
No. Jesse, you agree with that? You've been the biggest Terry detractor.
Listen, like everybody thought I was a Terry hater. I'm not. I try to read the tea leaves in situations like that. And when you look at players like a Mike Evans,
bumps on his head,
Devontae Adams, Sutton, the other Tampa Bay receiver that got a deal as well too. I can't think of his name right now. Well, the other one besides Evans, Godwin. All aging receivers. And they're getting 22, 23, 24 million. I was higher than that, because of who Terry is and him not being injured as much and not, having quite as many football years.
Right.
I stuck to my guns from the beginning. $28.5 million is the absolute highest he should be paid. And I agree with Scott G. Terry is the actual boss. Right now, it is 100% on Terry.
You would have to think so.
I think he got a bad advice from the beginning, okay? Yeah. And his agent, probably, hey, we can get 35, 36, $37 million, Yeah. But it's Terry to realize, okay, this isn't happening.
Right.
I got to, come at it from another direction here. And he's the ultimate sayer.
He is. He's the one that can fire him. He's the one that can say, okay, we're going to come off of it. Yeah. But I think you're right. He's gotten bad advice. I think that this guy has told him that if we stand on it, they'll give it to us because you are Terry McLaurin, whatever. However it got there, Terry is now looking at, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to hold out? All right. I doubt it because you lose a year's eligibility. You're already 30. All right. You're going to play a year and then try free agency next year. You're going to gamble on that. Okay. You might get hurt, right? Might as well collect that check, collect that contract now before that happens, because by the time the next year rolls around, you will be 31. And other teams, like Jesse said, none of them are interested. All right. They're not going to pay you that kind of money now. What makes you think they're going to pay it then? You're going to get an even lower offer next year. I think this agent has completely botched it. Whether or not Terry has been unreasonable, the agent has to say, I'm your advisor. We need to talk, or he needs to step away and say, okay, I'm not going to be involved in this anymore because it's a fucking clown show. And I don't know where the Commanders are standing by what I've heard. It's like 24, 25.
It's 25, right? About 25 right now.
All right. So
they're willing to go up to 28.
If they would have been a little bit more reasonable, then they probably could have raised that a little bit more and gotten a better deal. And then we'd be done with this. But go ahead.
Reasonable. Like,
I mean, not the Commanders. I mean, Terry. If he would have said,
okay, I got you.
Right. If he would have come down off that high horse and said, okay, let's talk about this. That's how you negotiate. Yeah. You don't start it stupid and then stand on it and say, well, this is what I'm going to get. No, it's because it's called stupid. You're not going to get that stupid.
I firmly believe,
you're only going to fuck yourself.
I firmly believe 24, 25 should have been from the beginning Commanders' starting point, and that was still puts him above the Mike Evans and all, that there is a 30-year-old market now. It's built. I had an argument with someone on Twitter a couple of weeks ago saying I was just making it up out of fucking thin air, and it's not true. Like NFL teams, they've learned from past mistakes. They know that when receivers hit 30, chances are they're going to start declining, and this deal isn't going to be until Terry's 31. So you're paying for his 31, 32, and 33 year seasons. So you got to look at that. I think 25 million is a pretty fucking good deal. Let's bump it up to 28 just because of the person that you are, Terry. Right. And let's fucking get this fucking show on the road.
I'm 100% on your side now. I completely agree with you. Peacecraft says, "Hey man, Brian Robinson's supposed to make $3 million. His money's off the books. Give it to Terry."
It don't work like that.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
because the next man down the road then wants more money.
That's another thing that I appreciate.
Debo.
Yeah,
I
appreciate Adam Peters for not setting a precedent like this.
Right.
Yeah.
You got
to have a lot of things to do. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of players to pay.
Competent general managers. We whinged about it for how many years? Now suddenly we've got one, and half the fan base has turned on him. And
look,
now
Dan
that
Snyder
half of the fan base is now
Dan
saying...
Snyder would have made Terry McLaurin the highest paid receiver in the NFL.
Don't forget, fans are stupid.
But it's true that part of the fan base who was all against Adam Peters is now starting to turn back to say, no, I'm starting to hear it from his side. Rather than just being, he's a Terry hater. I don't think he is at all. I think he's got to be sensible about this. And funnily enough, the more it's gone on, and the more closer we've seemingly got to at least them talking or being seen to talk, coming off the pup list, all that sort of stuff. That means that when you look at where Terry's been and what he's been around, his agent is nowhere to be seen, and it's only when his agent has been nowhere to be seen that stuff seemingly starting to come out a bit more.
Well, the other side of it is that I haven't heard any movement from the agent's side. When Adam Schefter dropped a couple of weeks ago that he was asking north of what DK Metcalf got, I haven't heard anybody say that he's moved off of that at all. And to me that just shows bad faith. When everybody, look, Buddy Baker, when Adam Peters laughed you out of his office and then everybody else laughed at it when Adam Schefter put it up, you should smell the wind and say, somebody farted, and I think it was me. Yeah. So, Tony, what do you think?
It would not change my mind one bit. It actually would turn me and probably most fans more against Terry, and that wouldn't be good at all. He's not getting the money that he wants, and nor should he.
So, all right, let's bring it around to the topic. I'm going to start with you, Tony, and I apologize. I got to go take a leak, but talk for a while. So, how do you feel about our wide receiver depth now? Because let's say the worst is the worst, and Terry decides he's going to stand on fucking stupid and hold out, right? We assume he won't, but we assumed that this would be over by now. So where are you with our depth? Go ahead.
Well, without Terry, then obviously that's a major concern if that's the case. I mean, Debo becomes your sort of number one, and he's not a classic. He was never a classic number one anyway. He's probably not a classic number two. Noah Brown is still not healthy. And I'm getting a bit more concerned about Noah Brown's health because he doesn't seem to be, practicing a lot. Apparently,
they're putting him on bubble wrap before the beginning of the season.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully that is the case. Jalen Lane showed a little bit again last night. Was it 3 catches or 4 catches that he had? So he's starting to come in a little bit, and he's a rookie, so it's going to take a bit of time. But yeah, there's some of these other guys that have got name value, your Michael Gallups and your KJ Osbornes and all these kind of guys. None of them appear to have really done much to kind of make the case. McCaffrey, whether it's bad quarterback play in preseason games, but even training camp reports, doesn't seem to suggest that he's been making a big leap. Again, maybe it's a lack of opportunity. I don't know. And I don't think we are going to be without Terry. I think that Terry, ultimately, as you said, Scotty, I think that now people are coming around to the fact that the team are the ones who are in the right here. Earlier on, it was like everybody screaming, "Oh, pay Terry, pay Terry." And there's a certain amount of people that are still saying that. But I think now, absolutely, as the more information has come out, the more people started to go, actually, he's not really asking for something that's on a par with how good he is. So, I suppose in conclusion, with Terry, not too concerned. it's not huge. It's not one of the best receiver rooms in the league, but Jaden upskills everybody else, uplifts everybody else rather. But without Terry, yeah, it'd be a major concern.
Yeah, no, James, it's just because he's a hard negotiator. I don't think that's going to scare teams away from calling.
We win.
Not at all. Not at all.
As long as we keep winning
in the NFL, we got players.
There's a lot of hard negotiators in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And the other thing is on just to finish on James's question there on is he a hard negotiator? I don't think he necessarily is a hard negotiator. It's been seen that he's willing to do deals with people in
making deals all week. He made another deal today, bro. I mean, they're small deals, but they're bringing in players that are they're either looking at other spots to fill out on the roster or not. But
they pay Cosme market value.
Yeah,
correct.
Balancing a team is that's what it is. It's a balancing act. You've got to weigh the salary against of all these players, and when you are going to try to be able to get that thing to match up to the point where you can win, right? And when you've got a quarterback right now, where we've got on a low contract, you've got to be able to maneuver things to be able to get this kind of thing done. And this is where I think that Buddy Baker / Terry have fucked things up. I think that they think that their big freaking card that they have left in their hand is to say, your Super Bowl window is open and you ain't getting in there without us. And, I don't know that that's true. It's possible, but is it possible enough to say, okay, I'm going to hold you up to the tune of $12 million more per year than you're offering me?
No,
that doesn't make sense to me.
I think there's two sides to this coin here, isn't there? As well, who do you bring in? What do you get if you took Terry out of this team? That's a real worry because right now, where we are coming into the season, you aren't going to replace that productivity with anything. That's done. The other side of it is yes, he's holding out, and the depth of this wide receiver core as we have. I'm maybe a little bit higher on it than other people, but it depends on health. It depends on health and it depends on who's here. I mean, as you said before, maybe I was being over pessimistic, Jesse, and you've turned me around. I don't know. But it's when you talked about cornerbacks, it could be the same in wide receivers. Outside of 4 wide receivers, when you get into wide receiver 5, which probably is Luke McCaffrey.
Where do you have 4?
So I'm going to go Terry, Noah Brown.
Let's pretend Terry's out of the equation. That's what I'm talking about. The depth.
Okay, if we're taking him out,
okay, hold on. Why take him out of the equation? Okay, because he has to play.
He's under contract.
Yeah, he's
playing.
Doesn't
have to, but even if you okay, let's say okay,
it'd be the dumbest, idiot thing.
Who's your 3
to do?
Who's your 3?
My 3 would probably be Noah Brown, if he's fit.
If he's fit, that's not really a very solid thing to stand on.
No, I get that. Then you go in Jalen Lane, and then you've got Luke McCaffrey. Outside of that,
Debo.
Luke McCaffrey could put on a pair of antlers and walk out into a hunting lodge, and nobody would shoot at him. He could fucking walk around smelling like a deer. Nobody would care.
I still think he's missing. But
I can't put any stock on him until I see that he can actually do something, and until they try to do something with him, I can't see it. So to me, and Noah Brown, I know everybody likes Noah Brown, everybody loves all this about Noah Brown. I'm kind of just on Noah Brown, and he does tend to get hurt. If Terry is out, Terry and Debo, that's a different kind of 1-2. Jalen Lane, I like what I've seen out of him in some parts. Now, okay, last night, let me ask you this. Josh Johnson threw an interception down the 5-yard line, right? That guy made the play.
Yeah, he was double fucking covered. That was just bro.
I thought, in all honesty, that they could have called an interference right there because Lane's got a right to the ball, and the cornerback really just blocked him out of it. But was it a confusion on Lane's part as to where he was supposed to go? Because he was nowhere near that ball.
Well, I think he was double covered, so why would a ball be coming his way?
I don't know that he was double covered. The safety was up over the top, but he wasn't right on top of him. But either way, he got really just boxed out of that play. My point is that okay, now we're putting hope into a rookie who did have a nice punt return last night too, like 8 yards.
We put hope in a rookie when Terry was first here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Ja'Cory Brooks didn't do much of nothing last night, right? So Michael Gallup, nowhere to be seen.
No. Listen, I really think look, the quarterback play was just god awful too. We got to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
We really, really do. It could definitely be a different story when Jaden's under center. So
even with
maybe just take that into consideration too when we're thinking about this, because good God, fucking Sam Hartman. And look, Josh Johnson's better, but he ain't that much better.
Ain't much better. That's right. I thought Aikman said it last night.
Here.
He's been on 14 teams, but if you count the ones he signed with again, he's had 22 different go-rounds in the league. Holy shit.
The thing with McLaurin, the thing with Terry is going to be interesting this week is he's now, they've taken him off the pup list. The whole, he reported to camp. Now, obviously, it was a hold in because he was still looking at the contract. But now he's off the pup list. That's on the assumption now that he's going to practice this week.
He's got to.
Is he going to practice this week? Because if he doesn't practice this week, then that's a whole nother
he'll start getting fined, and then they can put him on a left team list, and that would mean his season wouldn't start.
Closes him down.
Yeah,
right. And he loses a year, and he's 30 already.
And the team have to let him back.
Right. This week is
crucial
time.
Mm-hmm. It is, and this is why I lay this at Buddy Baker. Dude, you got to give him better advice. If he's not listening, if he's that obstinate, man, you get a baseball bat, hit him on the head, because something's wrong in there. There's nobody that can think that they've got this much hold in this. You just can't think you've got this much stance to stand on 33-35 and not move. That's ridiculous.
The only one I think who showed anything that was outside of who we've already spoke about, maybe Tay Martin. He had an okay showing again. That's
you mean the veteran defensive end?
No, Tay Martin he is a wide receiver.
I'm thinking of Jacob Martin. All right. So, yeah, because I'm thinking about defense now. So we haven't really talked about the defense. Anything you see last night that have changed your mind on anybody?
I was impressed with players like Jacob Martin. I think
Kinlaw had a couple of nice plays.
Yeah, Kinlaw. I'm really enjoying the fact that Kinlaw's going to be able to show his stuff, because I think he's going to be a key contributor on the defensive line, and it might shut somebody up. But
Armstrong was good.
Dorrance Armstrong was good.
Dietrich Wise as well. I think we're going to have a pretty good fucking pass rush. Let's be honest.
Dietrich Wise got called on that horse collar.
Oh, that was shocking.
I will give a head smack to Frankie Louvu for that idiotic penalty. I mean, they were not fucking snapping the ball.
No, there was 4 seconds to go on the play clock.
Yeah, you were trying. They were trying to drive you offside, and you couldn't fucking see that shit.
The only thing that was good about that is the guy, the guard that jumped in front of him, he fucking threw that dude on the ground with one arm like he was a sack of taters. But yeah, that was a freaking bad penalty right there. The Dietrich Wise penalty I thought was terrible because who was I? I'm sorry, Mark Phillips today. By the letter of the law now in the NFL, you can't grab anywhere up near the back where the name is at all. Whereas a horse collar was called a horse collar because it came from a Dallas Cowboys safety by the name of Roy Williams, who perfected this play where he would grab by the neck of your back of your jersey and swing his legs. He would use that as leverage and swing his legs to pull you down backwards, and he was hurting people's knees. He was tearing up knees. So they made the rule, and the key to the rule was the leg swing, right? You have to fall down backwards. That's what a horse collar is. Now, this thing, he didn't fall down backwards. He slung him down on his face, for fuck's sake. And Mark said to me today, he goes, they said the only reason they call it is because he's outside the pocket. And the only reason he's outside the pocket is because Dietrich Wise fucking has a hold of him and made him run outside the pocket. So, I mean, what the fuck are you going to do in a situation like that? Do you just let him go? Bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. So there you go. There's that.
I'll tell you one thing I did notice, and I think could be a surprise cut, Cleveland Farrell.
I said the same thing, as a matter of fact, on our roster.
He's playing in the fourth quarter.
Maybe.
And
yeah, I mean, look, that's.
And when we just talked about the people we just talked about there, Martin, Wise, Armstrong, how many rushes do you need? Because we haven't got, Louvu's going to rush at times. You're going to have Von Miller's going to rush, obviously.
Yeah, John Baptiste.
And then John Baptiste's got to come back, who they rate very highly. Mm-hmm. I think Farrell might be on the way out.
Yeah, numbers game. He might
numbers game. That's what I mean.
I thought he did. In fact, we have our roster that we've been keeping track of. I moved him into my cut list yesterday, today, based on what I saw last night. He wasn't very good. He just doesn't have very good instincts, it seems. He's big. He's got all kinds of size, but he's like that big, giant fucking mastiff puppy that you have in a 200 square foot apartment. The motherfucker just can't run around and stay out of everything's way.
Well,
go ahead.
What did you think of Will Harris, Tony?
I watched the game on 40-minute thing this morning.
Yeah, I did.
He made one nice play that I can recall in the end zone. Was it where he batted down the pass?
They really challenged him. Yeah,
the first or the second drive. That was all I can recall him really doing. I think he was another one of these sort of quiet, unheralded free agency signings that could come in and be quite a nice sort of average starter. Quan Martin's is clearly elevating. Game. Quan Martin, it's been talked up a lot now to a point where he's an above average starter. He could even move to that next tier of potential Pro Bowler. If Harris can come in and just be solid, then that's the job.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, do you think there's going to be much drop off from that between him and what we had with Jeremy Chin?
It's hard to tell, but not really. Chin was solid, but he wasn't.
He was a medium player. He wasn't going to give you the best, but he wasn't going to, make you look stupid either. But I wasn't really I thought that Quan really separated himself from the pack last night, especially in the first drive. Even though he did get piled over for the touchdown, it was like fourth down or third down and far. But the fact of the matter was, on that first play where they threw the little swing pass, that thing would have gone a long way if Quan doesn't make that tackle. The tight end that they threw to out in the flat right there inside the 10-yard line where they wanted to put it in the end zone, in years past, our linebackers wouldn't even have known that motherfucker was out on the field. Quan stuck his ass, and that's what I like to see. He reads well, he's reacting well, and he's getting there and with an impact, and that's nice. And even though on that play he did get bowled over into the end zone, Jesse, you said yesterday when we were talking about it that he's got to have a little bit more backbone there, and I agree. But he did meet him quick in the hole.
I thought he hesitated a touch.
You're probably right.
I think he just hesitated just a little bit, like a split second. But I like what you saw from Quan. I think he's going to be a major step up this year again. And I really like our defensive back room.
Tyler Owens is flying around,
and the depth that we have. I mean, listen. Our cornerback 5 is fucking Noah Igbenogany, which was a starter last year. So,
yeah. People are ragging all over Noah. I didn't think he was that bad last night.
No, he wasn't.
Tony, what do you think?
I didn't think he was that bad. I think the pass on first look, I thought the pass interference was harsh, but then I saw it again, and he did.
Well, I mean, he's singled up on freaking the number 1 wide receiver in the league, running down against Joe Burrow throwing the ball. I
don't have any issue with Noah at all. I mean, he was solid last year. And as Jesse said, if he's the 4th or 5th corner, then you take that every day.
No, James, I don't think we see any starter against the Ravens.
Not against the Ravens. No. It's all about who's making the team, trying to get a job.
Right. We might see Brian Robinson. Wouldn't that just be something?
You'll see a lot of Sam Hartman, which will be reason to switch it off.
Well, Sam Hartman.
Price.
Bobby Price too. No, thank you. I don't need to see Bobby Price anymore. Good on you. You dry. Carlin Vigors at least showed himself a little bit better yesterday. Did we see anything out of Kane Madrano?
He started
a little bit.
He was playing. He was making play
calls. You can see his speed. He's got speed, and I think that's what we've been lacking out of the linebacker position.
He's got to top too, man.
Yeah, he was noticeable in the beginning because he'll stick his net. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he'll stick his head in there.
That's good.
He's got speed. He's got speed, and he's in the right place to learn.
That's good.
Yep.
I still don't know if he's a middle linebacker though. I'm not sure if he's like tweening between safety and linebacker. I don't know where he would sit. Maybe he's a box safety. I don't know. It's tough because.
All right, so stock ups and stock downs. Let's see here. Do I have a thing for that? Let me see here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Scotty. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's right. Wake up, Yam. Motherfucker's been sleeping all damn show. That ought to wake him up. All right, stock up, stock down. We'll start with you, Jesse. We'll start on offense. Go ahead. Who's your stock up?
Yeah, my stock up for offense, I'm going to give Josh Connolly Jr. Had one hell of a game.
Yeah,
if you've read any of my articles earlier on in camp, Josh had a rough go of it in the beginning, but I really think, and I also think
in the on the first drive when we went right down the field.
No, I'm talking about early in camp. Early in camp.
Oh, okay.
Camp. And I think Von Miller has played a big role in this too, helping him out. He's really come a long way, and I think we definitely answered the question on whether he's going to start the season at our right tackle position, and I think he's going to. He had a hell of a showing last night.
All right, Scotty, give me a stock up.
For offense, I'm going to go stick with the offensive line. I thought Chris Paul had a fantastic game.
All right, that sounds good. What about you, Tony? Give me a stock up.
Well, you got to kind of go with Bill, I guess. I mean, they've just shown the ultimate faith in him by what's going to happen to Robinson. And he had a couple of nice runs, nice touchdowns, showed a bit of patience, a little bit of pop. Okay, he didn't do too much else otherwise, but definitely arrows pointing up.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with this kid, John Bates. I'm telling you right now, this guy is going to be something. This dude can play. He can block like you wouldn't believe. And I mean, I know it's way down on people's radar, but he's got my stock up because
he had killer blocks on both the touchdowns.
He did. He played so well last night. Biotish played well last night. I said last week, and y'all kind of cocked up your eye, I was looking for a good game out of Chris Paul, and you see why. That dude is fucking beastly. If he can just get to the second level and start to move his feet, that motherfucker is going to clear out. I mean, they're not going to be able to stop him. The other end of the stadium is just going to be knocked over. He's going to go right through it. So, yeah, I'm all in. I don't need him to start. I just want him to be available, and he's a big boy.
Just get off the bus first.
yeah, exactly.
Go on, Chris.
All right, so give me a stock down on offense, Jesse. Go ahead.
Stock down offense. Let's go with the wide receivers. And I hate even doing that just because of the fucking quarterback play outside Jaden Daniels.
All right, there you go.
I'm just sorry. I started with the wide receivers, but it's like it stems from the quarterback play. I see they don't have a fucking chance.
All right, Scotty, go ahead.
That's where I was going. Quarterback 3. We don't need one. Just find one from somewhere else because maybe Marcus Mariota. You know what I mean? Maybe you've got to question him. Just get fit. I need to see you because.
Speaking of that, Scotty, I'm glad you brought that up. Should we see Mariota in the third preseason game? I mean,
I need to.
I want to see something. See a little bit. Get him some live action.
Just to watch.
What happens if something does happen to Jaden?
Oh yeah, I heard that he would suit up if the regular season started tomorrow. That was one of the pods I listened to today. Said that they were pretty optimistic that he'd be okay.
Oh, let's hope so. I mean, I think
it's a calf strain, Tony, is what they're saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's he? It's a bad feel. Anyway, I wouldn't mind seeing.
Here's a reminder: special teams and specialists.
Special teams. Thank you. What the fuck is this goddamn pooch kick?
That's what I'm saying. And it's specialists, not as in like it's them that are kicking the ball. The operations all over the place. I
just don't understand this little pooch kick. The first opening kickoff, he gave us a little pooch kick, and it's like, okay, dude, you're giving the guy a free run at the ball. He catches it on a dead run. Our lines are only 5 yards apart now. They can open up a hole like that, and you saw it happen. They got through there, and I was thinking, fuck, they return the opening kickoff again. And I'm thinking,
Izzo was. I just think Izzo was.
They're trying something.
Yeah,
they have to be.
He did it twice. This is the time to do it. This is the time.
Yeah, maybe they're testing out the kickoff coverage by putting him in a bad position.
I'll tell you what, you want to kick off by kicking that motherfucker off. That's what you do. You kick it out of the end zone. I don't care. What do you get, the ball at 30 now?
Oh, you can't do that now.
Yeah, you can't do that.
What do you get? 35 yard line. You only need
boot that sucker inside the 5. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Don't do this pitch up.
Boot it deep, yeah. You boot it deep, but as long as it's not going to go out the back,
You just kick it between the 5-yard line and the goal line, and let him return it.
That's right.
Here on time, Kim. I'm just kidding.
Where is she? Kim finally rolled herself in here. Oh, hi, Jen.
Hi, Kim.
You know, Kim, you're on our time zone, right? You're not in California or anything, right? Because I say 5:30 all the time, and here you always roll in at 6:45. All right. I like Kim. I'm not going to pick on her. And she called us gentlemen, which is nice. All right. So I do have a couple of things that I want to say real quick before we do get out of here because it is getting late. We do have some emails, so I'm going to put on some email music here. Emails, of course, you can write to us at gmail.com. Bleeding Burgundy podcast at gmail.com. Biggest lie of the preseason. John saying this wasn't going to be a long podcast. Scott, I got to tell you, every time I've said, look, this will only take 10 minutes, I can't help it. Can't help it. I'm just blessed. All right. So we do have exactly.
Well, yeah.
Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So, coming into us from Bleeding Burgundy podcast at gmail.com. Our first email of the night. Dear podcast, I'm hoping you can help me. This is serious, and I don't know where to turn. I told the Commanders I want a shit ton of money, right? This is what you do, right? This is what they told me in online agent college. Well, now they won't take my calls, and I'm starting to feel like I fucked this up. You guys have any experience in high-level NFL negotiations? Sincerely, B. Baker, Charles E. Cheese Sports Agency. Anybody got any help for this guy? Any advice for this clown? Here's some advice for you, Mr. Baker. Resign. Okay.
I've done some high-level negotiations in fantasy trades, but that's about it.
Tell you what, that's probably what happened. He's standing there with Chuck E. Cheese tickets and saying, "Look how many they gave fucking Justin Jefferson."
He won a raffle. He won a raffle to be like an agent.
Pretty much. Okay.
His only other person is Jeremy Chin.
Jeremy Chin, who he sent to the Raiders.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Bleeding Burgundy podcast. Hey, any of y'all ever been to Houston? What's it like? How about Chicago? Anybody know a place I can crash after I get cut and picked up someplace? Anybody know something in New Orleans? Shit, watch me go to Kansas City. Anybody got a friend in Kansas City? Couch surfing across the USA. Brian Robinson. All right, well, let me know. But that might be coming. All right, third email to bleedingburgundypodcast at gmail.com. Believe me, if you write us an email, I will read it because I have to make these up because these people don't actually write us. Write me an email. Kim, you're always late to the show. You have to write us an email and explain to me why you are late to the show, young lady. There you go. All right, our third email today says, come on, catch it. Oh, sorry. This email was supposed to go to Jalen Lane. Sincerely, I'm never going to start, man. All right. So there you go.
Never gonna stop.
That's
amazing.
Like that's not a nickname you want to have, is it?
No.
That's a great nickname.
All right, so there you go. Bleeding Burgundy podcast at gmail.com. Write us with any of your thoughts. We'll be glad to talk about them. We'll be glad to bring them up on the podcast. And unless you're stupid, and then we'll be glad to bring them up on the podcast and laugh at you. All right, so we will be back Friday to talk about the weekend coming up, our big game with the Baltimore Ravens, which we expect to see Bobby Price and the like going out there doing their best. I want to thank Tony for being with us on short notice. Thank you, my friend. Glad to have you on the show as always.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
You know, we are a bit of a chaotic show, and sometimes I feel like if I don't get to you, just jump in. And you guys are always so polite down there in the bottom of the screen. Just jump in. So, Scotty, good to see you as always. Jesse, good to see you guys, and we will see you guys on Friday. Later.
Go to bleedingburgundy.com.